Fraser & Fraser is one of the oldest firms of heir hunters. It's run by Andrew, Charles and Neil Fraser.
George R. Galloway, who's got the marriages?
Their team has been reuniting people with unexpected windfalls for over 30 years. Since they began, they've assisted 50,000 heirs who've inherited a whopping sum of over £100 million. Most of Fraser's cases come from the Treasury's weekly published list of unclaimed estates. By the time the names are advertised, the Treasury has already checked to make sure there is no will or beneficiaries. This is good for the heir hunters, because if they can find heirs, then they are almost certain of commission. However, Neil and the team are embarking on another type of case, the speculative case, where they work following a tip-off from a member of the public or an acquaintance of the deceased. Today, Neil's tip-off is about an empty house in Southampton.
It looks like the gentleman concerned who's passed away was never married, didn't leave a will, hasn't got any brothers or sisters, but certainly owned his own property. And if the inquiry we've just picked up is right, and he didn't leave a will and doesn't have any known relatives, then it's going to go to the Treasury solicitor. We've just been given it maybe a month or two before the Treasury, so it's great news for us. We'll get onto this now. We'll get onto it straight away, and who knows, within the next day or two we may have found our first beneficiary.
Bachelor Alan Twigg passed away at home in December 2008, aged 68. A retired insurance investigator, he fell ill later in life and eventually died of a respiratory illness. Someone who knew Alan during his life was family friend John Fawcett.
Well, Alan was a very nice chap. He was a very pleasant chap. He was cheerful, he was positive. But we would always sort of meet up, you know, for a chat. He'd come over to me or I'd go over to him. We'd spend an evening, you know, having a drink and a chat or something like that. He was a slightly eccentric chap. His main interest in life was saving money. Although he had a fair bit of money, he used to shop at Netto's, which is the sort of, you know, the cheapest of the cheap. And that really was his abiding passion. But he was a nice chap, though. I don't want to give a sort of picture of him as being a sort of miserable old miser, but he certainly wasn't that. I mean, apart from saving money, Alan's other interests were bridge and tennis, which he played until quite recently when he became a bit too ill to play. His legs, I think he had sort of heart problems and that, and his legs had swollen up. Alan will be missed. I mean, he was thought of as a bit of a character, and he was a bit of a character.
Despite Fraser's being the only company investigating the case, someone else could easily discover the empty property and tip off a rival firm. So Neil wastes no time in getting case manager Fran Brett to start to investigate.
A guy down in Southampton, surname Twigg, T-W-I-G-G. Yep. Last address is Ethelbert Avenue, Southampton.
With a referral case, it hasn't been dealt with by the authorities as yet. We are taking it on somebody's say-so that there isn't a will. Well, obviously we're taking a bit of a gamble, but that's what we do anyway, so let's see what we come up with.